Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and today I am here to talk about Christmas fragrances. So these are all of the fragrances in my collection that remind me of Christmas. I will probably wear one of these on Christmas Day, which is coming up super fast on us. I feel like I was just talking about Halloween perfumes, and here we are talking about Christmas perfumes. And I will soon be talking about winter fragrances, which I'm super excited about. And then I saw Smurfy Girly, or Claire, she just uploaded a video today called, I think it was like cozy sweater fragrances, and I am definitely going to be borrowing that from her because as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, what an amazing topic, cozy sweater perfumes. I have so many perfumes that remind me of a fluffy, cozy sweater. So super excited to do that one. I can't wait to watch hers. I have not had a chance to yet, but I can't wait to. But anyways, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna jump right in. I've got quite a few here. I'm gonna start with this fragrance here. This is a fragrance from Lake and Skye, and this is called Midnight 07. And this reminds me, of Bath and Body Works circa like 2004, 2005, mid-2000s. If you guys remember the fragrance called, I think it's called Dark Kiss. I'm pretty sure it's called Dark Kiss. That's what this reminds me of. This is like a beautiful, plummy, custardy vanilla patchouli fragrance. It's so rich and warm and sweet. And I remember loving that lotion and the smell of it. And it back then, Bath and Body Works lotions were nuclear. You could put them on one time and you would smell like that for an entire day, 24 hours. They used to be so nuclear. I bet they weren't that healthy for you though. I bet that the amount of fragrance or whatever they were doing to make the fragrances smell and last that long probably wasn't the best for your internal organs. But this I adore because it takes me straight back to that. And this isn't quite as patchouli heavy as the Dark Kiss one was, if I'm remembering correctly. It was either Dark Kiss, it could have been like, I'm pretty sure it was Dark Kiss. But yeah, beautiful, plummy, custardy vanilla, and a light patchouli. This is one of those perfumes that reminds me of sugar plums, which is why it reminds me of Christmas. So yeah, every time, this is a fragrance, you could wear this pretty much any time of year. I've worn it in the heat and it's really, really beautiful. It performs really well in the heat, but it reminds me of Christmas because it reminds me of custardy sugar plums and I adore it. So anyways, that is Lake and Skye Midnight 07. This next one, reminds me of Christmas because that's around the time that I picked this up. I picked this up the same year it came out, which was, I believe, 2014. It's funny because this one deceives me. This one makes me feel like it's been around a lot longer than it has. I feel like Decadence has been around for so much longer than that, but it hasn't. But yeah, I want to say I got a big decant of this to begin with because I wasn't sure, you know, like I most of the time do. And especially back then, I almost always bought decants before I picked up the full bottle of anything. But I want to say I picked this up around Christmas time and I love this fragrance. Decadence is one of my favorite fragrances in the entire world. This is another one that's like plum and saffron and vanilla, and it's really sweet and smooth, and I love this. And the reason it reminds me of Christmas is not only did I pick it up around Christmas, my decant, I want to say it was like an 8 ml decant. It was a really big decant, so I wore it for months. I got probably 3 or 4 months out of my decant, and I wore it exclusively for, well, I say exclusively for me means like probably 2 or 3 times a week, but which is why it took me months to get through an 8 ml. But it was around Christmas time, which I love. But another reason this reminds me of Christmas is because this reminds me of being little. So 10 or under, and my mom used to have all of these bowls of potpourri laying around the house, and this smells like whatever that potpourri is. And you guys are not ever going to believe this, but she got into this old antique desk that she still has, that she's had since I was probably a baby. and she pulled out a bowl of that potpourri that she still has. And it still smells. And it still reminds me of Marc. And this, now I know for sure that it definitely, it does smell like Marc Jacobs Decadence, or Decadence does smell like that bowl of potpourri, even after 35 years. I mean, it's amazing. But anyways, yeah, it specifically reminds me of those bowls of potpourri. And I want to say my mom got that potpourri like in the winter time. So it's just this whole scent memory for me. But it's one of my favorite fragrances on the planet, and it always reminds me of Christmas time. And it's gorgeous. So anyways, and this is nuclear. I can spray it on once and I'm good for the whole rest of the day. So anyways, that is Marc Jacobs Decadence. Such an amazing fragrance. This next one, this is another one that the reason this reminds me of Christmas is because this, again, reminds me of plums and custards, but it doesn't have plum in it. This is Jean Paul Gaultier, La Belle, Le Parfum. And this smells almost identical to the original La Belle, but this has got like this really creamy, custardy vanilla. And the pear is more of like a stewed pear. But if you imagine stewed pear without any spices, it's just like warm glazed pears. So warm glazed pear and this beautiful, dense vanilla custard. That's what you get with this. And something about it reminds me of like sugar plums and custard. And so it reminds me of Christmas. I love it. This is one that I'm really, really leaning towards wearing on Christmas Day, because this one, I don't know, there's something about this that's bringing me a lot of joy right now, because it just reminds me of dancing sugar plums. So anyways, yeah, that is Jean Paul Gaultier, La Belle, Le Parfum, such a beauty. This next one, this is one that just reminds me of Christmas because it literally smells like Christmas. This is a fragrance from Etat Libre d'Orange, and this is called Noel au Balcon. And I think this is supposed to smell like Christmas. It's beautiful. It's spices and citrus. It's got a little bit of honey in it, but it's not an overpowering honey. It's got cloves, cinnamon. It's just this really beautiful spiced citrus. Yeah, it's gorgeous. I think this one was made to smell like Christmas, and it does smell like Christmas. Another, I should have pulled, darn. I have Eau de Merveille from Hermes. That's another fragrance that really reminds me of Christmas. It smells like spiced oranges. It's really delicate. It's not really sweet. It's just kind of this beautiful, delicate, spiced orange fragrance. It almost has like a tea vibe to it, like spiced oranges, like spiced orange tea almost is what it smells like. It reminds me of Christmas too. I don't know why I forgot to pull that one, but it should be in this video. But anyways, yeah, that is Noel au Balcon. Such a beautiful fragrance. Totally smells like Christmas in a bottle. I think this is what I wore last Christmas, and I adore it. It's a really, really special fragrance. Okay, next we've got this one here. This is from Lattafa. This is new to my collection for this winter, and I know that I am going to wear this in the coldest of cold weather. We have like an Arctic blast coming at us. I mean, the entire country does. They said it's like cold air coming down from Siberia. So the week of Christmas, which is this week, is supposed to be frigid. Like, I live in South Carolina, and it's supposed to get into the single digits here, which it very rarely does that this time of year. We usually don't see single digit weather. If we even see single digit weather, it's usually not until like January, February. So the fact that it's gonna happen the week of Christmas is crazy. But I am prepared with fragrances like this. This is a heavy hitting, super sweet, woody fragrance. This is like a very strong version of Replica by the Fireplace. And basically that's what it is. A very strong version of Replica by the Fireplace, but this one it's just more of everything. It's sweeter, it's more woody, the slightest touch smoky. It just smells like vanilla and a roaring hot fire. This reminds me of Christmas because it smells like sweets and a hot, like roaring fire on Christmas Eve. Maybe I'll probably end up wearing this one on Christmas Eve and then wear something else like a little bit maybe more festive smelling on Christmas Day. I think this is gonna end up being my Christmas Eve scent though, because it's beautiful. And I think we have to leave the house on Christmas Eve and we're gonna freeze. So I'm gonna need a heavy hitting, like sweet woody perfume. But anyways, yeah, beautiful. If you like Replica by the Fireplace, I think you would love this. It's not like a one-for-one dupe or anything. They do have differences. And like I said, this one is way stronger. But anyways, that is Amir Al Oud from Lattafa. Okay, this next one, it's funny because it took me a while to, well, no, I think last year is the year that I realized that this fragrance reminds me of Christmas. This is a fragrance from Michael Kors, and this is called Sexy Amber. And this is such a vintagey smelling, it's such a powdery, vintagey smelling amber. It's a very powdery amber is what it is. Like a really, really powdery amber. It smells vintage. I think, which is why I love it so, so much. If you like fragrances like Donna Karan Cashmere Mist, I think you would really like this one. If you hate Cashmere Mist, I don't think you would like this at all, because I really do get Cashmere Mist vibes from this, but this is stronger and more powdery and just really vintagey smelling. But it reminds me of Christmas because, I don't know, it just reminds me of Christmas in the 80s. Something about this is really, really nostalgic smelling for me. This is definitely you only wear this in the deep cold of the winter because it's a bomb. It's a powder bomb. It's sweet, it's dense, it's heavy, it's a lot, but I love it. It's one of my favorite ambers in my collection because it's so vintagey smelling. I just love it. I adore it so much. So if you like a powdery amber, if you like fragrances like Cashmere Mist, I think you would really like this one. So anyways, that is Michael Kors Sexy Amber. If my Christmas perfume wears off by the evening, this is gonna be my Christmas bedtime fragrance. Okay, this next one will be no surprise to any of you. I talk about this in every single one of my Christmas videos. This is Burberry Brit Red, and I love this. I need to see if I can find another bottle of this at some point because I've only got, I don't know, maybe an inch left in my bottle. This is like a custardy rhubarb fragrance. It really does remind me of like a rhubarb pie with a beautiful vanilla custard on top. It's gorgeous. And there's something about, well, as you guys can see, custard reminds me of Christmas. And there's just something about this fragrance. I mean, the bottle looks Christmassy too. There's something about how it smells. Like this beautiful tart rhubarb and like a thick, dense, creamy vanilla custard. I think I wore this on Christmas Eve last year. So this, I probably won't wear it again this year. I'm gonna rotate in some new fragrances this year, but I will probably wear this at some point this week just because it's that time of year. I do only wear this once a year because I don't have very much of it left, and it is a Christmas fragrance for me. So yeah, this will be the week probably that I end up wearing this one. So anyways, that is Burberry Brit Red. Okay, so next we have got Shaped by the Wild from Untamed. Not only did I get these at Christmas time last year, so they, well, not all of them remind me of Christmas, but this one was the first one that I opened. And I remember when I smelled this, it was December, and because of how this smells, I will always associate this fragrance with Christmas. And it's funny because this is Charlotte's most favorite perfume in the world. She will wear this anytime, any time of year, any time of day. She doesn't care. This is like her favorite scent in the whole world. So she wears it all the time. And she just wore it, what was it? I think we went to the store, it's been probably 3 weeks ago or so, and she pulled this out and sprayed it on before we left. And it's funny because I associate this with Christmas. So Shaped by the Wild has a ton of notes in it, but it's got a bunch of pine. It's a little bit smoky. It's got like a smoky note in it, but it's more of like a wood ash smoky. So it reminds you of like a campfire, but not like the fire of the campfire, like the leftover ash of the campfire. It's a really beautiful, smooth smokiness, not overpowering at all. You get a little sweetness from, I think there's vanilla in the base of this, so you get a little bit of sweetness from the vanilla. Untamed is based in the region where I grew up. So she's from Canada, but she's in BC, and I grew up just south of BC in Washington State. And there's something about this that just reminds me of home. It reminds me of Christmas. It reminds me, or I guess I should say this time of year, like December. I got it in December. It's just, there's something so special about it. Which you guys know, there's something so special about every single one of her fragrances. And I just absolutely adore them. This one is very, very special though. It reminds me of being in the woods with a beautiful campfire, but it's, I hate describing it that way because it's so smooth. You don't get like a campfire smoke from it or anything. It's just beautiful. It's got a ton, it's woody, it's slightly sweet, it's earthy smelling. It's just stunning. It's stunning. So anyways, that is Untamed, Shaped by the Wild, just a stunner. And then last but not least, we've got this one here. This is called Une Nuit Magnetique, or All Night Long, from the Different Company. This one is ginger, Egyptian jasmine, Turkish rose, patchouli, I think white amber, and then something Pousseries d'étoiles, so some kind of flower. This, to me, reminds me of Christmas time. For me, this is like a floral version of Noel au Balcon. There's something so vintagey and Christmassy, and just, it's gorgeous. It's got the warm ginger in it, some kind of citrus. There's got to be some kind of citrus in the top because you definitely get this beautiful citrus, like this brightness. So this beautiful bright citrus, ginger, the jasmine, and then amber in the base. And it's light. It's not like an over, you know, it's not like a heavy amber fragrance or anything. For me, it really is like a floral version of Noel au Balcon. It's very similar. It's in the same family as Noel au Balcon, and it's just gorgeous. I love it so much. This was sent over from a subscriber because I got a sample of this, I believe, and I fell so hard for it. She sent me the bottle. I guess it didn't work for her, and I am so grateful to have it in my collection because it is my favorite kind of fragrance. It's very nostalgic for me. It reminds me of Christmas, and I adore it. And I will probably wear this at some point. I'll probably wear all of these at some point this week. This will be my Christmas week lineup. You guys might see this exact same video again in what I wore last week on Monday. I don't know. But anyways, this is Une Nuit Magnetique, or All Night Long, from the Different Company, and it really is a very different kind of perfume. So anyways, guys, those are all of the Christmas fragrances that I have for this year. I do hope that you all enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.